Hey guys, it's Josh from Gym Direct, and today we are here at EMF Miranda chatting with Taryn Keeley, the PT manager. We discuss performance and recovery, mindset, what the future holds for EMF. This is Behind the Brands. Hi guys, it's Josh from Gym Direct, and today I'm with Taryn Keeley, the PT manager of EMF. Thank you so much for sitting down and spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to start in the beginning for you before we get into what this mecca seems to be. I wanted to hear more about your story and how you got into the fitness industry and what led you to the position you're in today.
I started training when I was 15. I came from a dancing background, so I was always about performance and training, and then I was severely injured by the time I was 12. So I got into the gym from a very young age and I fell in love with it. And everyone kept telling me to train and go in the gym and work in a gym, and people asking me to help them, and I was like, no, I don't work in a gym. Like I just love what I do. And then I took the plunge, started working when I was 20 years old in my first gym in the corporate world, and then my journey began from there. And so from there I've run gyms, I've built teams, built other gyms, built F45 studios. Then I had my own PT studio, got into the group fitness side, then dived into PT, and from there I fell into EMF.
You gave me a tour yesterday, and I think this is, like I say, it's a playground for adults. Like it really has everything, and I can definitely see where the vision is for EMF moving forward. Can you tell us a bit more about like what EMF is, where they're going, where they've been, sort of the full story?
Yeah, so EMF started with one guy, Scott Freeman. He started in the military, he came out of the military, started very large boot camps, which then turned into performance centers. Those performance centers then added recovery centers, EMF juniors, cafes, supplements, and it's turned into this beautiful umbrella of everything health and wellness. So now we have 17 locations with a new one opening up today.
Yeah, right.
In Bethania.
Yeah.
And yeah, so by the end of the year we'll have 19 locations in total. EMF itself is a world-class training facility. We have the best equipment in the world. Not only that, we have the most beautiful recovery centers.
Yeah.
And from there, we've built incredible teams of trainers that lead the way in our facilities as well.
It's so good to hear that, because I think your role being the PT manager, what does that look like day to day? Obviously, with such an influx of PTs that are in the industry, it's completely saturated. How do you find and manage the right people to be a part of EMF?
It is the people. I think I've been doing this for such a long time that you develop the skills of reading people, understanding people's energies, but you can see people's core values. That's what I look for. So someone that comes in with pure intent that wants to change people's lives in the daily. There is a bit of an ego in this industry, so I think it's very easy to determine the difference between someone wanting to come into the fitness industry and leading from their heart and building a career out of passion and pure joy and seeing people transform and change their lives and having that ability to do so. And I think that's such a special thing to have in this industry, that you do have that kind of power for someone to step into your life and literally never look back, and you can change them forever.
It's super powerful. I guess from like the general population that aren't on this side of the fence when it comes to PT, what are your thoughts on the stigma around PTs that are just these, people that just train all day? Oh, they've got so much time, that's why they're in the best condition. How do you find that? How do you find that stigma? Or how do you, I guess, interpret what the general population say about this side of the industry?
Yeah, I think people perceive this as like we have the coolest lifestyle and we can go to the beach during the day and we get to be in the gym all day long. It is not like that at all. I mean, I barely get to go outside at the moment. So look, you have to love what you do. We're up at 4 o'clock every single morning. We're here training clients from 5 o'clock. Some of my PTs are here at 4:30 a.m. You have to love what you do, and you have to be a morning person. I mean, not all trainers are, and they have their own individual lifestyle.
That's why we have coffee.
But that's what we have coffee for.
Absolutely.
Multi-million-dollar industry. Yeah, I think. What was the question?
So I guess it's kind of leading me into my next one. So you've definitely answered it. So when you look at like the life of a PT, and I guess people kind of have this stigma around what they are.
Yeah.
How do you? For me, the industry is all about energy out.
Yes.
Like it's all about giving, and I think a lot of people don't realize that it does take a toll on your mental health and your physical health.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Obviously, you're at another level where you're not just a PT on the floor anymore, you're also managing a group of PTs. So how do you balance your energy from T, who's outside of the gym, and T, who's the PT manager, as well as the PT?
Yeah, good question. You can't teach what you don't know, right? So if you don't lead from the top and you don't set that example to your client, how do you do it yourself? So that's always been my mentality behind what I do, in having the ability to create a balance for myself and then being able to teach that to my clients as well. I can't lead them and tell them what to do if I'm not doing it myself. So you can, get caught up in this world and spend all your hours on the gym floor and doing programming and, spending so much time with your clients and wanting to take on more and more and more and more clients. But if you're not filling your own cup, it's very easy to empty out your own and end up in burnout. A lot of PTs fail because of this reason. It doesn't end up to be this crazy glamorous lifestyle that they think it is. Like, a lot of work goes into what we do.
Right. So I guess like the average stat is about 16 months for a PT, from literally by the time they leave TAFE. Yeah, even less. So
way less.
So roughly from there, I mean, how do you, I guess with mental health being such a big thing, how do you sort of manage that as someone that's looking over the PTs? Because it is such energy giving, it's so much energy out, not much in. How do you sort of manage your team to go, okay, are they okay? Have they got enough that they need from me?
A lot of awareness, a lot of checking in, offering support. Your PTs and your team need your support, but you need to be able to give that to yourself. So I make sure that I look after myself. I eat very, very well. I don't drink. I very rarely go out, but I do have a balance of a lifestyle. I still see my friends. I still see my family. I train hard in the gym myself, but I've created a balance that I can now project that onto other people and be like, this is how you can do it as well. And in terms of looking after my team, they have that safe space within myself and the team themselves as well, that they can reach out to others if they need to. They have that support. They have someone to lean on if they need it. They have someone to say, hey, you're not okay, take a day off.
Sure.
Or, yeah.
I guess that's kind of like juggling everybody. So which kind of leads me to my next question. Who is EMF targeted to? Is it the mums and dads? Is it younger kids? Is it someone that just wants to lose weight? Is it catering for everybody? What sort of EMF who are they trying to attack?
Everyone. Everyone. Nowadays, health and wellness has become, there's so much more awareness around it. People are investing into their health. People are investing into looking after their bodies. People are investing into having a trainer in their corner, or understanding how to eat for their bodies and understanding how to train for their bodies. So EMF is designed for everyone. We have a facility that is designed to be able to perform at the level of an athlete. We have a recovery center that ensures that you have all the key elements to ensure that your training is matched with your recovery, if not prioritized even more. We have mums, they have the creche, they've got an EMF Junior for their kids to play in. We've got supplements, we've got nutrition, we cover everything. We've got a Ninja Warrior course for adults and kids. We've got a ladies only gym. We've got training for altitude that are designed for athletes and people feeling like they can train like an athlete as well. So EMF is literally designed for a can-do-it-all approach, and everyone and anyone can walk through these doors.
Is there anything you guys don't have? Like, I mean, we went for I went for the tour, and I've never seen anything like it. And I guess what kind of moves into the next question is, recovery is the big thing. Whether you're 100 years old or you're just, you're a little child that's kind of getting into sport, you see the kids with the compression garments. You guys have so much recovery. Is that where you find, or EMF finds, that the industry is moving towards, that it's heavily into that recovery now?
I think if you don't have recovery in your gyms, you're already failing. Right now, there is so much more awareness on people's bodies. A lot more people are in pain. A lot more people are stressed. So people use these recovery spaces and saunas and recovery elements to alleviate that stress, not only from training, but from their day-to-day life.
Yeah, right, definitely. I have to ask, obviously being in the industry as long as you have, what is the silliest trend or fad you've seen that's just made you go, there's so much out there that gets put on social media. It's just a highlight reel as well. But has there been something that you've just gone, what are they doing? So.
Look, there's quite a few questionable elements that have come along my journey. Oh God, that's a good question.
There's a lot.
Yeah, that's probably
There's so much.
list.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Instagram workouts.
Well, it just shows that you don't get it in here, so it's not happening in here,
Yeah.
which is important.
We don't let it happen here.
No, we'll squash that very quickly. Tell me about your typical day. So what does a day look like for you, T? Like from the moment you get up, what time are you getting up? What does your morning look like? Lunch? What are you eating? What does an average day for yourself?
Okay.
Yeah.
I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My day goes straight to my clients first thing in the morning. I either am running a group fitness class or I'm PTing. So I have my clients starting at 5 o'clock or group fitness classes. From there, I always make time for my first meal. I never skip breakfast.
Yeah, what do you have? What's the food?
Protein and fats.
Okay, yeah. Anything specific? Are you someone that eats the same thing every day?
I actually have meat for breakfast.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
I have
fine.
meat for breakfast and generally some veggies and some fats
Yeah.
along with that.
Are you cooking that the night before?
Yeah.
Or okay, so everything's prepped?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
so
Yeah.
that comes at the back end of my day.
Yep.
And then I'll go back to training clients. Then my EMF day begins. So I'll be either onboarding new trainers, working with new trainers, doing business coaching, organising some new events that's coming on store
Right.
for EMF New South Wales.
Anything you can tell us?
We will be launching the first EMF Games
Right.
for New South Wales.
Where, is that an exclusive for us?
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah,
not even the
right.
members know about
Okay,
it yet.
don't. We won't tell them. Guys, listen.
So it'll be released
Yeah,
soon.
that's fine. We'll quickly get this out today. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, can we touch into that? Are we
Yeah.
able to ask you questions on
Absolutely.
that? So what is that going to look like? I know there's like the boom of high rocks at the moment. I know you guys do a bit of that training here.
Yes.
Is that kind of what it's going to look like?
Yeah.
Or what's, you know,
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
So I launched High Rocks training here at EMF, and we were the first EMF gym to launch High Rocks training amongst the brand, and it was a hit. Like we've got over 20 athletes now competing
Wow.
in the High Rocks event. So myself and a couple of trainers go into the event for support, and from there, it's because of this success, we want to then deliver the first EMF Games within the 6 weeks following. And yeah, it'll be a similar approach in terms of they'll have 3 components that they're going to work through. Myself and a couple of my trainers, Tyler, Paul, and Luke, just designed the EMF Games
Right.
for the brand
Okay,
for this
yeah,
year.
right.
So that's very exciting.
Right. Will that be on location or is that going to be somewhere secret? Or?
Yeah, on location.
Okay.
On
yeah,
location
yeah,
for
okay.
this year.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so we'll host it here at Miranda, and then we'll do a state games the week after.
Wow. Right.
And then we want to provide back to our community. So this is going to be a huge event to get everyone involved and just take their training to the next level.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's huge as well, especially that industry. So we kind of took a segue, which I loved. So that's roughly what you're organising at the moment. And then afternoon, are you doing PT or are you training in the afternoon? What's sort of the rest of the back half of the day? What does that look like
so
for you?
that afternoon period is then my time. I train myself 6 days a week. So I'm here on weekends as well. But yeah, generally the afternoon is for myself. I'll get my steps in, my training in, and then I'll be back to PTing for the rest of the afternoon. And then the rest of my evening consists of setting up for the next day.
Sure.
So I'll make sure that everything's set up ready to go the night before here. And then I'll go home, prep all my food, maybe cook for Michael.
Is it something that you guys want to do where you're seeing a new movement such as High Rocks that's come in at the moment and gone, we need to pivot, not for us, but for our members? Is that something that you guys will continue to evolve, or are you just going to go, we're in front with the performance, we're going to sit back and do nothing?
No, we never sit back and do nothing. We are quite innovative with our brand. We've created a lot of new class styles. So in terms of new training, we do create new concepts and new training styles here under the umbrella of EMF. And if it does really well, we tend to branch it out into other EMF locations. But at the moment, I think we're pretty ahead with the performance side of things.
Right,
So
definitely sounds that. Looks that way, I should say as well. What's sort of the biggest lesson since being in the position that you're at the moment where you've gone, oh, that's changed the way I think or I act day to day? Have you learned something along the way throughout your career where it's pivoted you to be more aware of something? Or
the moment I started working here,
Yeah.
it changed my life.
Right.
Like I genuinely love what I do, but I've created so much awareness, not only in other people, but myself. I've truly discovered the person that I am today and what it means to me to be a leader to my team, what it means to have the impact of leading another trainer's life and giving them the opportunity to have the direction that I went, to give them the pathway and the knowledge and the education that I've experienced over the last 10 years, to then deliver that to my coaches and then watch and see them grow, but also bring them under my wings and grow with a brand together. So I think that's been a huge pivotal experience since my time starting here at EMF, but I've had to learn patience.
Yeah, something we all need to work on continually. So how important is culture here for you? Not so much as, yourself as the PT manager, but within the gym. Like, there's so many different personalities that are coming in day to day. How do you then create a culture where it's, whether you want to say it's inclusive or not, but like what sort of the culture, or like how do you work on that to make sure that it's what you want it to be?
Yeah, the culture is our foundation of our community. So without that, we wouldn't have what we have right now. Yeah. And to have that, it is a team effort, but it's having the right people here that contribute to that, to building that community and having those same core values that I mentioned earlier. Sure. And then them delivering that not only to their clients, but to our team, to our members, and to the whole community itself.
Right. So T, you've bought from us before. Was there any reason why you came with Gym Direct as opposed to any other supplier that's out there at the moment?
Yeah, we used you in the past for a few locations, and I've had a great experience with you guys. And I've continued to purchase based on the quality, not only just the quality, but the exceptional service. Also meeting yourself. I've had such a wonderful experience through yourself. So I think building that relationship with someone is vital into future purchases and the future relationship that you do want to create.
So T, I'm interested to know a bit more about who you are and what shaped you today. So obviously you've done some competitions. How have you used those experiences to shape you today, moving forward, when it comes to coaching or just being someone outside of the gym that can lean on those experiences?
Yeah. I loved competing, and I've competed in quite a few sports, and I think along that journey it has allowed me to be so intuitive with myself and with others. It's allowed me to be connected with myself and others, and it kind of forces you to learn everything about yourself. You have to be so connected to your day-to-day life, to the people around you, to your environment, and I think that's what's truly created the person I am today.
It's fantastic to hear. So I find sometimes when I speak to PTs or business owners that they can sometimes struggle to separate the hero that everyone sees in the gym walking around with the EMF shirt on, as opposed to T that's at home that deals with everyday struggles like we all do. Do you struggle to balance those two, or are you the same person? It's just a matter of managing energy. Like, what's that look like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, no one is happy all the time. Yeah. No one is energetic all the time. I mean, most people see me as that, but home is my time to switch off, fill my cup, and tap into those reserves so I can continue to be my energetic, happy self every single day. I genuinely love what I do, so it's not hard to come to work the way I am. But yeah, I think I do get into the trap of overworking and taking my work home. So it's really been a challenge this year to have a balance of both, and switching off on the weekends and having my time, and not bringing that home to myself and my partner.
Is that because you love it so much that it's not a job for you? I know a lot of PTs, we all say it's not a job because we love what we do, but you still need to switch off for that reason? Like, is that what you find for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I have allowed myself to get into the trap of overworking and being here way too much, and then taking that home and then not taking time out, or taking a weekend off, or even just having a weekend away. So I think that was my biggest challenge that I've learned to overcome this year. Right.
We went through a pretty interesting time a few years back with COVID. How did you manage your business through that time as well? So a lot of people, some people started up their businesses, some people unfortunately failed.
Yep.
How was that time for you as a PT and day to day going through that time?
That was the most I ever worked.
Yeah.
And again, I found so many elements about myself that led me to where I am now. At the time, I was working for another group fitness studio where I had my PT studio. And at the time, I was the only one who was allowed in that LGA. So I was running 50 PT sessions across the week, plus also running a group fitness space for everyone to come and attend when it was like 3 or 5 people that they could come work out with their friends. Plus I also launched an online business at the time as well. So I would be at the space setting up about 4:30, 4:45, starting from 5 o'clock, back to back till 3, train myself, back to back till 8, going home, working on my online business, and then doing it all again.
It's such a selfless career. And I think some people can get a bit, like, as we said before, swept up in I get to train from 6 till 9, I'll go grab a coffee, go to the beach, come and train myself.
I wish.
And I'll be, beautiful. So it's what they do. I guess From where you've come in your career, where do you see the fitness, like the health and fitness industry, going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think there's a really big focus on reformer Pilates right now. And I feel that
it's not just females as well. I have to put that in there. Everyone thinks, oh, it's a very feminine thing to do. No, it is.
It is the most humbling experience you'll ever have.
It's just everyone thinks it's odd, but no, it is multi-gendered to do that. It is it's tough. So you're finding that reformer seems to be the big boom that you'll see. Yeah,
I think reformer's really leading the way in the industry. We have just launched a men's only reformer, simply because there is so much awareness now for men. A lot more men have that curiosity about what reformer is, and because we have such a variety of members, a lot of the men see the reformer room, they're intrigued, they're interested, or their partner's training there, or their trainer's training in there, and so there's a lot more curiosity around what reformer actually is, even though it's been around for like over 10 years.
Sure.
So there's one part that is really steering the way for reformer is more the clinical side of things. People are a lot more injured, like I mentioned to you earlier. So people are wanting to learn more about their body. Their core is weak. Everyone's suffering from bad lower backs. We're all sitting down on our phones and our laptops. Our posture is frail already. So I think what reformer does, it brings out that awareness in people. It aligns your posture. It helps with imbalances and stability work. It teaches you how to activate your core. It teaches you breath work. It teaches you how to stretch. So there are so many elements in reformer right now that people don't even realize that that's what they're after. So the trend of reformer is, I think, only growing significantly. We've just launched our first head of Pilates in EMF, which is Georgia. And she's really leading the way in that group now, and she's gone down the route of clinical Pilates because she comes from a background of back surgery herself, and she's only young, so her knowledge is incredible. But I think also the type of trainers that are really now coming to the surface in the industry are what's leading the way. So I think, to answer your question, reformer is a huge component that's only getting bigger and stronger. And another big thing is more awareness around recovery. Like, people just used to do sauna and an ice bath. Now you've got our first ever, Australia's first ever snow room. You've got, the compression boots that have so much more awareness now. We've got our salt room. Even the recovery hub itself is expanding and growing to so many other elements that people are now incorporating into their day-to-day life.
Which makes a huge difference. Quality of life is what we're talking
about.
Yes. We've talked about, I guess, where the industry is going. What do you find the biggest misconception about the health and fitness industry is?
Oh, good question. Aesthetics. Once, from an outside perspective, people think people go to the gym just to look good. When you step into a gym like this and you feel good, it's life-changing. You become a part of something that will change your life in itself. You become a part of a community that are so welcoming and inviting, and people share their experiences, people share their vulnerability. And when you feel like-minded and you feel you have that connection with other people, you start to open yourself up to so many elements you didn't even know were here. So people then aren't so focused on what they aesthetically look like anymore. They're so much more focused on then how they feel. How do I feel after a reformer class? How do I feel once I've just done a group fitness class with a bunch of amazing humans? How do I feel once I've just connected with a personal trainer and they've learned to understand my body that I didn't even understand myself? So there are so many beautiful components of this industry that people don't see from an outside perspective.
Yeah, right. It's so interesting you say that. So I guess we'll go back to the very beginning. So I'm a brand new client. How important is it that first experience when you walk through that door that it is a 5-star experience? Like, obviously being a PT manager, is that something that you're saying to the guys, hey, we need to make sure that everything's 5-star because we are trying to pioneer this industry. We're trying to do something different. Like, is that something that you guys are working on, or?
Yeah, we're elite military fitness, right? That's what we stand for. So we pride ourselves on the elite standards that we create from the moment you walk into the door to the moment you come down onto the floor and experience our elite trainers.
T, we're going to do the GD3, so it's just 3 questions. I'll start with a really complex one. Is that what are you grateful for?
The life that I have. The life that I wake up to every single day.
Yeah.
Is that 3 things?
No, and that will do us today. So I mean, obviously the gratefulness is a big thing. So the second question I could ask is that what has been your biggest thing that you've overcome throughout your career? But like, even it can be personal or I'm just going to say professionally, but what is the biggest thing you've had to overcome?
finding myself, my family are not gym orientated. I come from an Italian background. So when I was 15 years old, training in the gym and focusing on my body, that was looked down on. I was questioned, and I did it purely for myself. I did it to overcome the injuries that I experienced from a very young age, the pain that I experienced. I also lost my dad from a very young age, so the gym saved my life. But the biggest challenge I found along the way was finding myself, not listening to my family, not listening to my friends that would not understand me and my passion for training and the competitions that I took myself on, and this journey that I've created for myself, I've done all by myself. I didn't really have any support from my friends or family. So I think that was the biggest challenge in blocking out all that head noise and still finding my own pathway to get there.
Right. So when we talk about that, I'll quickly touch on that. When you look at sort of as someone coming through, chances are someone else in here is going through the same thing. Is that something that you're always saying, hey, look, I'm here if we ever need that support, because that's basically what I'm here for? Or are you kind of like, we're all in this together? Is that sort of the direction you go with it?
People don't come to the gym just to look good. I find, especially now with the stress that we have in our society, people come here for their mental health.
Right.
So I think everyone, once you get to know someone, that you're always unpacking some sort of story of the real reason that they're actually walking through these doors. Which
leads to my next and last question. What is your why for doing what you do?
It grounds me. It allows me to be at peace and to find joy in every single day. And training gives me that. The people, the interactions, as I mentioned earlier, having that ability to change people's lives, I thrive on that, and it gives me sincere purpose into each day.
It's powerful. It's very powerful. Look, I thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure sitting down with you, and good luck with everything, and I can't wait to see the EMF Games soon.
Thank you, Josh.
No problem at all.